We have just a couple more people to sit down and we'll be ready to go. Welcome. I'm the Reverend Dr. Scott Taylor, and thank you for being here today to support one another. We are gathered to remember and celebrate the life of PMH Atwater. Today provides the space for a deep sadness while also honoring joy, love, and the uniqueness that was PMH. Everybody shake your head. Okay. All emotions are natural. You do not have to choose one over the other. Respect and embrace all of them that bubble up. Harry and family, this is the part where we all embrace you and know that you are here because you loved her, and we love you back. During our time together, we will listen to wonderful music. We will invite PMH to join us, ponder reflections on her life, and end the service with some wonderful bagpipe music. Yes, I said wonderful. A PMH celebration of life would not be complete without the soothing tones of bagpipes. Terry asked me to keep this service brief, to go light on ritual, and celebrate PMH's life with a tone of lightness and love that accompanies the joy of eternal life. We start our service today with a prayer of unshakable faith. As you recite Psalm 23, listen to how King David expresses his deep gratitude, trust, and reliance in God. Listen also for how these words speak to life everlasting. Would you now please rise as you're able for a collective reading of Psalm 23. Oh, there we go. Okay. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life.
When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. It It is well with my soul. It is well. It is well with my soul. Life persistent misfortunes, though trials should come, let this blessed assurance control that Christ has regarded my helpless estate and gave up his own life for my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well. It is well with my soul. My fear, oh, the bliss of this glorious thought. My fear, not in part, but the whole. Surrender your false self and you'll bear it no more. Praise the Lord of my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well. It is well with my soul. And Lord, haste the day when the face shall be sight. The clouds be rolled back as a scroll. The trump shall resound, and the Lord shall descend. Even so, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well. It is well with my soul.
Kevin, that's not fair. You took my notes. And here I was going to compliment you on your singing. Not happening. When we attend a celebration of life for a loved one who has made their transition, it is appropriate that we invite them into this space. So, now, let's invite PMH to be with us. May I suggest that you close your eyes. Take several deep breaths to calm your mind, body, and spirit. Visualize or remember a bright light in your mind's eye. Rest in that light as it becomes brighter and brighter. Stepping out of that light is PMH, her hands spread wide. Her hair swept straight back. Big glasses set aside. She doesn't need them anymore. And now you can hear it. That infectious laugh, her cackle, her unique and endearing smile. She hugs you, whispering a message just for you. Stay with her presence. Stay with her voice and her uplifting energy. Say in your mind, say to PMH, I welcome your spirit to be with me and all of us here today. Ask her to stay and be your companion during this service. Now, take a moment to enjoy PMH's company and tell her the impact that she had on your life. I'll give you time to do this. Welcome back. You may have wondered why I'm dressed in full Scottish regalia. Well, you heard that we're going to do bagpipe music later, so it's not that. I wear this today because we are here to honor the work and life of PMH Atwater, the person who interviewed over 4,000 near-death experiences. You know, those people who were killed and brought back to life again. Harry, you said you wanted light. There you go. As PMH and I often discuss, this work is way too important to be taken seriously. I met PMH shortly after deciding to do my doctoral dissertation on near-death experiences. My committee had let me know in the kindest way that this was going to be a tricky paper to write. The subject is difficult to describe, and good qualitative data is difficult to obtain. So I figured I needed a mentor, someone who could guide me in asking the right questions and looking at the data with fresh eyes. You all know where I'm going with this, right? Yeah, I asked PMH to fill that role. Why PMH? Well, first, I was struck by one sentence in a small book she wrote about near-death experiences that opened up the possibility that I had had a type of near-death experience. That one sentence allowed me to explain my experience and find my tribe. I cannot overemphasize enough the importance of finding a home, a place where you were honored and understood. She did that not only for me, but for countless others through her extensive knowledge of the phenomenon. Secondly, I was impressed by her background. She was a cop's kid. Cops know how to interview people and get information that others might miss. They are investigators, they are sleuthers, and truth seekers. So, out of the blue, that would be police blue, please groan. Thank you. So out of the blue, I called and asked if she would be willing to give me pointers to do NDE research. Trusting person that she was, she invited me to lunch at her home the next time I was in town. That was the beginning of an extraordinary 27-year friendship. At lunch, PMH told me while it was important to find out what happens during an NDE, it is more important to figure out why. She urged me to find the wrinkles in the data and what they would reveal to me. I hadn't a clue what she meant by that. I know the wrinkles in near-death experiencers now reveal a roadmap for how the universe is constructed and why it works the way it does. In a similar way, Eben Alexander, author of Proof of Heaven, told me that PMH was incredibly helpful in cluing him in about his near-death experience. She shared with him other people's experiences, detailing the after effects and how to live with the truths he had discovered. PMH gave freely of her time and expertise to help him gain perspective on putting his life together after his NDE. He heralded PMH as the real engine that enabled him to, quote, put his story about boldly. That sounds like PMH. PMH was one of the pioneers in the land of near-death experience research. As with any exploration, initial exploration into a largely undiscovered country, she had a newcomer's perspective. PMH got a lot of things right through her watershed research. She opened the door for the next generation of explorers to look at the data in innovative ways. Because of PMH's ingenuity and curiosity, future NDE researchers have become more refined in their techniques, observations, and conclusions. We owe PMH a great debt for her courageous, visionary insights. When my wife and I were first dating, I took over her guest bedroom, and I filled it with data points from interviews on Post-it notes all over the four walls. It looked like a scene from the film A Beautiful Mind, complete with all the colored string, taking and capturing all the through lines that were there. I looked upon this magnificent scene with dismay. What was displayed there had already been wonderfully described by researchers who had come before me. I had nothing new. So I rearranged the data. Posted, yarn. And there, all of a sudden, it just showed up. That wrinkle in the data that wasn't there before. Just like PMH said would happen. In that world, in that moment, PMH became forever lodged in my heart. Her ability to look at the world differently profoundly influenced me and millions of others seeking to understand the ineffable. Susan Amsden from the International Association for Near-Death Studies wrote, "You could always count on PMH to declare a new research concept that you had never heard of before. Her ideas were often unconventional, sometimes startling, and they were always delivered with infectious enthusiasm. She had an energy that seemed limitless, and it drew people in, even those who didn't always agree with her, challenging people to think beyond their comfort zones." That concept of comfort zones reminds me of my favorite story about PMH. Terry told this to me ages ago, and it has stuck with me ever since. In the early days of their marriage, the two of them would occasionally go out to dinner at a restaurant for a pleasant evening. Every once in a while, they would encounter outright hostility. They would feel the stress of disapproval. Their lives felt like a scandal. Whether it was the biracial marriage or the difference in their ages, it didn't matter. PMH would just smile, laugh, engage with Terry, and have a wonderful time. He asked her, "How can you do that?" Her reply, "I'm giving them back their power." Sit with that for a second. I'm giving them back their power. My interpretation. PMH and Terry showed them what love and affection looked like. This is how a couple should behave enjoying an evening together, outside of cultural norms, outside consensus reality. That story encapsulates the wrinkle in the data. PMH was able to look at all the doubters surrounding her and see that they needed to look at the world differently, to be shown the power of love in all its myriad forms. Terry, sir, you are a lucky man. You chose exceptionally well. PMH was a remarkable woman, and you were the perfect partner for her. Why? It's no secret. PMH would tell anyone who would listen that when the two of you met, she was struck by you having the biggest heart. All of us who know you, it's clear to us that is true. What PMH did for me, inviting me into her home and sharing her hard-earned investigative secrets, she did for so many others. She was compassionate, generous, as well as wise. When I invited PMH and Terry to speak at my classes at the Monroe Institute, they were both so kind, sharing freely of their knowledge to all our participants, wherever they were on their spiritual journey. I'd like to end with two quotes. The first is from PMH. "You are not your body. It is just something that you wear for a while, because living in the earth plane is infinitely more meaningful and more involved if you are encased in its trappings and subject to its rules. The biggest surprise for most people in dying is to realize that dying does not end life." The second quote is from her friend, Rocky Traynor, responding to the newsletter sharing the announcement of PMH's transition. Rocky wrote, "PMH was a trailblazer, friend and mentor to many. She was like the Reader's Digest most unforgettable character. PMH was that. I can see her in my mind's eye and heart, her boundless childlike enthusiasm for wonder, the intelligent knowing of a sage, and the contagious laughter that would fill a room with joy and happiness. She continued, I will miss PMH, our phone and in-person conversations, and her monthly newsletter. She leaves behind those who loved her, along with a legacy of 19 books and the impression of the great soul that she was, both here and beyond, continuing her good works in near-death experiences and now in the afterlife frequency of consciousness. And since PMH is in the room with us, I would like to suggest that we all give her a rousing round of applause for the gift that she was in our life and for the love she shared with all of us. Oh, thank you. I think you got it. Our service will end momentarily after Terry's remarks. As he makes his way to the microphone, that was subtle, wasn't it? I have one announcement. Terry and family will be gathered kind of in this area after the service. And if you haven't done so already, give him a hug. Terry, it's all yours. Like it.
Thank you so much, Scott. Thank you so much. It's so great to see so many of you who knew PMH and were impacted by her wonderful legacy and life and joy. And I just want to share with you that we love you and that you are loved. Let's make this a celebration of life and not of death. PMH is not in that box, by the way. She is not there. Physically, her body is there, but her eternal spiritual nature is still alive and well. And I want you all to know, and instead of feeling sorry for poor Terry, that you can celebrate and be happy for Terry and his family, because we know that she is in a better place. I share with you that she was having a difficult time physically for the last several weeks. She had AFib, atrial fibrillation, which was getting more and more severe, and she also had congestive heart failure. And we had been in and out of the emergency room at least 3 or 4 times the last 2 months, and it was getting very intense. So at any rate, to be perfectly concise and not to go into any great detail, she passed away on July 10th. And she was in our upper room, in my den, of all places. And it looked like she was, she was ready to go. She was on her back with her hands to her side. And I believe that she was ready to move on. I think she felt that it was her time, that her body probably was not going to be able to go on, and that she didn't want to be a burden. And so knowing her, she took just the right time when I was not there to make her transition. So be happy and know that PMH, or Phyllis, as she's called by some, that she is okay. She is in a better place. I will be going home to an empty home. But there is a home that we all share, and that home is our heavenly home. So know that in that home, we live together forever. That was the title of one of our books, by the way. We live forever. But we all live together forever in a home, you want to call it heaven, spiritual, nirvana, peace, love. We're in that home. So know that she is still with us. And though I may go home to an empty home physically, I still share the heavenly home that we dwell together in forever as one. So I just wanted to thank you for coming here today and for being a part of this celebration of the life of a wonderful individual who I shared 46 wonderful years with. Please don't let this be a time for mourning and too much. I know I've shed tears and I will be going on in the grief process for a while, but do know that it's okay. All is well. As my good friend Kevin Morrison sang, it is well with my soul, you know. And as we say in unity, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. And wherever we are, God is well. God is here, and all is well, right? Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And there is not a spot where God is not. So God is everywhere, and PMH is with God, and we are with God, and wherever God is, all is well. So I just want to let you know that we're having a celebration, and if you're wanting to go to the gravesite ceremony here shortly, we will be leaving probably about, I would say probably around 1:45. The gravesite ceremony, which will be brief by Scott again, will be at 2 o'clock at Holly Memorial Gardens. You're all welcome to join us in the procession over there if you wish. If not, that's fine. Feel free to enjoy this day the best that you can. PMH would want you to be happy and joyous. Boy, you know, you don't have a picture up there, but that smile, wasn't that something? I never met anyone who had the boundless enthusiasm and the happy laughter and the radiant smile that she had. I think that's what got me the first time, that smile. Knew I was in trouble. But she taught me many things. She tried to teach me how to smile. I don't think I quite got to her status. I mean, you know, her smile was just, whoa. You know what it was like, you know, whenever you're in her presence. She had that radiant, wonderful smile. But she taught me a lot about loving, a lot about sharing, a lot about caring. And she'll always be a teacher as well as a lover and a wife and a friend, a mother, and a trailblazer in the field of an NDE, near-death experience. Don't worry about near-death experiences. Worry about near-life experiences, okay? If you're not living life to its fullest, you might be having a near-life experience. No. Live, love, laugh, be joyous. That is what she would want you to enjoy and to know and to be. And the best thing you can do, if you want to give a monetary contribution of any kind, and this is up to you, give it to Unity of Charlottesville, right here. I'll tell you why. She always referred to this church as our little church. It was our little church. We were married in Unity of Roanoke Valley 46 years ago. 46 years ago. And when we came to Charlottesville, we started right up in Unity of Charlottesville. But you all know how we met, right? We met at a Zen meditation seminar. Back then, Zen was really, really kind of woo-woo and strange in a Unity church. But anyway, here we were in this Zen meditation seminar, and that's how we met. And as I humorously respond to that story, we were living in Zen ever since then. And we will continue to live in Zen, okay? But just know that this church meant a lot to her. If you want to make your contributions to Unity of Charlottesville, it's been the source of our spiritual nourishment and encouragement for many, many years. It's open to all nationalities, all sexual orientations, gender preferences, political persuasions. That's why the name Unity. It's a uniting force, a uniting movement, encouraging everyone to come who can be here. And those of you online, if you've never been to a Unity church, I highly recommend it. You might not find a mate like PMH, but you will find peace and love and acceptance and joy. By the way, we're going to be leaving here in a while, but instead of having a litany of testimonials about how wonderful PMH was, I thought it'd be better just for me to share a few words with you and show you how grateful that we are for your being here, and let you mingle among yourselves and enjoy each other's company. I want to introduce you to our immediate family and let you know who they are. So the oldest daughter, stand up, Natalie. This is Natalie, who is here. And the younger daughter, Polly. Polly, stand up. All right. Now the son is over in the Philippines, so he cannot be here today. But the grandchildren are here. Yeah, Richard, stand up. Richard, come on. And Michaela, stand up. Michaela's in the U.S. Coast Guard. She's an officer in the U.S. Coast Guard. That's great. And Sarah, stand up. So these are all on PMH's side of the family, and on my side of the family, in case you didn't know it, I have a twin brother by the name of Dr. Tony Atwater. Stand up, Tony. Some people say we still look a little alike, so anyway. So don't forget, if you want to meet and greet them and share with them your love and your feelings of consolation and joy, feel free to do that. Just know that the lady that we love so much is still in our hearts and still there for us. You know, if you want to call upon her name or tune into her vibe or know that she is still alive in spirit, please do that. And I would also suggest that you carry out her mission. Not her mission in near-death research. I don't know of anyone who could do that. But carry out her mission of sharing and caring, of smiling more frequently, and engaging with your brothers and sisters, knowing that they are one with us. And if there was any other time in our history that we need solidarity, unity, oneness, and communion, it is really now. And one of the things I always liked about PMH is I was kind of a shy guy. I didn't know what I was getting into with PMH. PMH didn't know anything about shyness and hardly at all. Everyone that she saw, you know, was kind of like a member of the family. And she said this was a typical trait of some near-death survivors, that everyone becomes your mother, father, sister, brother. And she always welcomed people into her environment, into her life. And so carry that as your mission. You know, that's not unlike what Jesus shared, right? Jesus said, love ye one another, because there is no other. Love your neighbor as thyself, because there is no other self. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you, because you cannot do unto others without doing unto you. This whole idea of universal oneness and joining and sharing our light with others, that is our function. That is why we are here, to teach only love, for that is what we are. So please go enjoy and happiness and peace and love, and we'll hang around for about an hour or so. And then for those of you who would like to join us, you know, for the ceremony at Holly Memorial Gardens, please do so. If you would like to make a contribution to Unity of Charlottesville, there are those who will take your contribution here. Or, you know, if you'd like to share your love in any other way that you feel that you'd like to, please do. And thank you all for being a part of our life and of my life ongoing here in the physical anyway. Thank you for all that you have shared to make all of the work that PMH did so successful and a joyous thing with the books and so forth. Remember how she always lit up when she had a book coming out? That was her way of sharing her love. So share your love and your light. You may not be an author. You may not be as bold, you know, as a PMH, but all of us have our place in extending the love and the light and the joy that is within each of us. So peace and love and joy to you all. And thank you for being here today. Amen.